So Tommy Nolan over in Ireland, he says, what was your first impression of Oasis when you met them?
Well,
Times.
you see, I met Liam and Noel. Well, I met Noel first, and then I met Liam. He would just be hanging around the Inspiral Carpets office.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about Oasis then. You know, I was working with the Spirals and these, but he just knew then. He's just an incredible human being. Really. There's nobody else quite like him, and he was always like that. And there were, you know, I think Noel gets a lot of stick these days for being like some sort of grumpy uncle, isn't he? You know, whereas Liam wants to party and it's Noel who's putting it down on everything. And I think that's an oversimplification of things. But back then, it was just a lot more innocent and easygoing, and everybody just it was just a lot. See, everybody seems to focus on the fact that they fell out all the time, right? How I remember it was just a laugh. We were laughing. All I remember was a lot of drinking going on. All this drugs thing is massively overblown as well. Massively over. All right, there was some cocaine. I mean, I've never been a big cocaine fan, contrary to popular belief. I'll tell you, if I had, I'll tell you. I'm just not. I was into boozing. I don't do anything anymore. I've not had a drink for 3 years.
But, I brought you a bottle of whiskey last year and you went, drink.
I know, well, Jill's dad gave it to his mate who's a big whiskey buff, and he thought it was great. So
did he enjoy it? Yeah, it was. I got given that by a client, and I thought, this is lovely. This, I thought, I'll take this. I'm going to piss Brian off by giving him 100 records to sign. I'll give him a bottle of whiskey as well. I don't drink, but fantastic.
But back in the day, I was saying when I did drink, you see, with us lot, there was never again, me and Noel had this conversation a while back. None of us ended up in rehab. It never became a real problem. The so-called massive abuse that we were all up to just wasn't true. You know, we worked hard, but we partied hard as well. And what I remember of it was just a laugh. Everybody was just enjoying it so much because they just knew that this shouldn't really be happening. We're just a bunch of working class shit kickers from up north, and this is going on. That was the vibe. Not like falling out or drug-addled catastrophe. Nothing like that. It was a laugh.
Yeah. Well, that's not the story. That's what people want to read about, is it? They want to read about kickoffs and fights and what the Sun say, which is not true. So,
there was a kickoff now and then, but then again, me and my bird have a kickoff now and again. It just doesn't hit the Sun or the fucking whatever newspaper, because I'm not dead famous. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has a fallout with the closest people to them. Sooner. I used to follow it with my sister. So what? It doesn't make the newspaper because nobody's interested.
That's it. Ollie Mitchell, I think his question's pretty much been covered, but I'll bend it a bit. He said, is there a particular shoot you're most proud of and why? So rather than go back to the Verve, let me bend it. Let's go with not the Verve, not Oasis. What about Cast? What was your favourite Cast particular shoot that you used?
Cast, the flying sleeve's a fantastic sleeve, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know the same guy 4 times in the park?
Yeah, it's here, that, in C. That's there.
Do you know who that guy is?
No, go on.
That guy is a guy called Peter Gray, who was Noel Gallagher's hairdresser.
Right, okay.
Peter Gray is a white guy, obviously, but he's from Africa. He's from Zimbabwe, right? And he's a lovely guy. He lives in New York now, I think. He taught himself how to cut hair. He used to cut his own hair. And he came to England just to cut hair, and he wound up being the head of the Vidal Sassoon Academy. And Noel would fly him everywhere to cut his hair. It was like that sort of, he's flying. Like Madonna used to fly Pete to New York, pay him $5,000 for an haircut, and fly him back to London. This is the 90s we're talking about here. It's amazing. Yeah. That's who that is on that picture. It's Noel Gallagher's hairdresser. Yeah. And that's a top sleeve that doesn't get any. Thanks for mentioning that, because that is a top sleeve. That.
I love it. I've got that. I think I've got that fully band signed up there, and that's one of the ones that I brought to you to pop your scribe on when I
started. It's flawless. We didn't use Photoshop very often then, and a guy called Martin Catherall, who used to work at Microdot, did the digital work on that, and it's a flawless job. That, bearing in mind that it's very much in its infancy at its time. That technology, that is a killer job. You cannot see the join on that.
I love Cast. I think I had tickets to see them next month. October. It's been put back now until April. But I've met John. John played a local. I couldn't believe it. He played a local pub round here, an acoustic gig, I could not believe it. Obviously, Sadak turned up with all my records, but he's the nicest fella you'll meet. You know, he sat there and had a chat.
He's a lovely guy.
Really, really nice guy. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Do you keep in touch with any of them guys at all? Or is that?
He played in Kendal a while back. I went to see him there. You know, said hello. But you know, I think it's 20 years ago since we were all running around London getting hammered. You know what I mean? It's just everybody's. It's just a different time, isn't it? But you know, like I said, there was never any fallouts with anybody. I've never. There's no.
Well, time passes, doesn't it? It's like even in the real world, you can have. I mean, I've just had 2 kids. They're a friend I've got that I've not seen for years. It's just because time's passed. You know, there's not a fallout.
You have kids, you move away, you get married. You know, you live abroad, you live in whatever. You know.
Yeah, that's
there's
it.
already fallouts going on. We all, you know, I still keep it. I mean, Bonham was around here the other week actually.
Yeah.
And,
He'd be the dream next interview. Hint. So
I'll ask him for you. See if he's top bloke. They all are. You know, they're all good lads. They're all good lads.
Absolutely. So Tristan Atkinson, how much artistic input did the bands you worked with have in the design process, and how did the various bands differ?
Well, you know, there was never any formula to the way I worked, other than I would listen to the music, obviously. Some sleeve designers do sleeves having not heard the record, which I can't get my head around. I'd always get lyrics off of them. I'd hang out with them as much as possible. But it varied from band to band, and even within the bands it varied. Like, for example, with Oasis, Noel sometimes just wouldn't have a clue. He said, "Let's get on with it." Other times it'd be quite specific, like some might say, "I want all the lyrics of the song in the picture." Same with the Verve, you know. It was, they just let me get on with it because they trusted me. You know, that was the beauty of it. They knew I was super passionate. They knew I was good at it, and they'd let me get on with it.
Absolutely. So with the next one is Alan O'Hara, and we've kind of looked at this. What was the one shoot that you did that you thought wasn't great, but turned out to be one of your favourites? I suppose you said before that everything was on film. So was there ever a shoot where you thought, "Oh man, that was shit"? At the end of the day, you thought, "I hope it's okay." What was you most worried about then? Going back and getting in the dark room.
It sounds breaking up a bit, but I think I've got that. No. Again, we put that much preparation going into it that I would never. If there was a shoot where I thought, "Oh God, that's going to look shit," I'd still be there. Do you see what I mean? I wouldn't. I would never have left a shoot thinking, "Oh, that's going to look shit." Just not possible. Because that's another point. It's not like we had a budget and we're working like I'm working so much per hour. I didn't put a clock on any of this. You know, I knew what the budget was, but if I had to work 10 times longer than I expected to get the fucking job done properly, that was it. You know, the money didn't come into it. Believe you me, I did not do this for any amount of money. Some jobs paid better than others, obviously, but I just didn't consider it. I was, like I said to you before, I actually go into a state of depression if the work's not going right or something. I just can't get it. And I mean that. So money don't come into it. You know, it's just about artistic integrity.
Well, Microdot's name, I mean, I suppose that's exactly right. I mean, you hear Microdot and you think quality. You know, you think of the bands, all of the bands. So I can see what you mean. If you did something, you thought, "I can't get this right, I can't do this quite exactly." I can see what you mean. You probably would think, "Fucking hell, this is not going to be up there with all the other work." And
no, I would never have left a shoot thinking, "Oh, I don't think that should look all right." Then saw, "Oh, it looks quite good." No, that just didn't happen.
So this is from Nikki Forbes, which is the mother of Talia, our young little T, as we call her. So she said, little T, which of all your album cover designs took the longest to finish?
Now it's going to be, well, if you're talking about from point one, which is coming up with the idea, to, no, I tell you, the Verve's first album.
Right.
That was a saga. That was months. The 4 sleeves, every one of which was an absolute. That was the longest, definitely.
Who's the figure there? Who's this?
It's a guy called Mark Corley, who's a friend. He went to school with Richard Ashcroft.
Right, is that right? Okay. Yeah. Do you know, I've never even noticed that. Just because I've got it close to my face there, I've completely.
Really?
There's a figure there.
You know what? I am gonna do a YouTube channel explaining all this because I just presume people know all this shit. Right?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
I'm going to go through every release in detail about how it was all done.
Brilliant.
But I didn't do it during lockdown because I looked like I was in a 70s rock band. I've only just had my haircut. I don't have a haircut.
You're looking well. Is that why you've put it off for the week? Because you're looking quite well now. You got your haircut and you're all fresh.
I've got my haircut. I've lost a load of weight. Life's good, man. You know, I feel good.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. Tally has also said a quick one. She's obviously quite liking the Morning Glory cover because that was a rowing question. Why was it not Liam and Noel on the cover of Morning Glory? I think
ultimately
it was you, isn't it?
Me and Sean Rowley.
That's right.
Ultimately, why are they not on it? I'll tell you why now, folks. Because we were shooting at 5 o'clock in the morning and they couldn't be asked getting up. That's it. That's the bottom line.
So who was there on the shoot? I believe it was Owen. It was yourself. It was Sean. Was Meg there on the shoot?
Yeah, Meg was there. There's the photographer. My girlfriend at the time was there. A guy called Andy Frank, who was the lead singer of a band called Pusherman.
Right.
He was with us. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
skeleton crew again. You know, just a few of us. That was it. No big, no people with clipboards doing nothing. You know what I mean?
There's a loaded Derek on the list. It's Derek. Who chose the quotes that feature on the theatre in Times Square for the Verve's history artwork?
People presume that we put those there, right?
They were there.
They were there.
Right.
And it's not Times Square, it's 42nd Street in New York, right?
Right.
42nd Street was tradition. Have you seen Taxi Driver?
Yeah.
The film?
Yeah.
You know, the porno cinema where he takes them, that's 42nd Street. There's a row of them, all disused. They're all disused now. And they've all got those overhangs, which would have at one time said, like, Tonight, Jaws, or, you know, Close Encounter. The names of the movies that they were showing would have been on.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, the time we were there, that would have been 1995. They'd thrown them over to some conceptualist, installment artist, or whatever you want to call it. And I was just driving down 42nd Street in a taxi, and I couldn't believe it because all farewell should be sudden. There it is! Stop the car! I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. People to this day don't believe me. They were there. They just happened to be there, and it was, like I say, some sort of artistic installation.
Ideal. I mean, it's again another iconic cover. I'm glad Derek mentioned that because that's one of the less talked about covers, I think.
And another thing as well, we did, because they split up when that record came out. We didn't know at the time. All Farewell Should Be. We didn't know at the time. They didn't know. They hadn't split up. It wasn't pre-planned, so that was sort of weird.
If they got, I mean, there's a rumor going around online now, and rumors are usually bullshit. But there's a rumor that the Verve are reforming next year.
Right.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, whether I think it was a good idea or not is neither here nor there. But
I mean, that would dominate the next year for me.
Right.
I'd be there.
All I'm saying is this: I do not know one way or the other. Right. Even though I have spoken to Simon recently, right? It's not the sort of thing he'd discuss with me anyway. But if that does happen, I will be very surprised. But then again, what do I know? I was surprised the last time it happened, and the time before that. You know what I mean? Because this will be the fourth time they've started again now.
Yeah.
The first time was when they started, obviously. Then they split up in '95, got back together in '97, and then they fucked it off. And then they got back together in mid-noughties. So this will be the fourth time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what? Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I saw Ashcroft last year. I'm looking now at a few items there from his gig at the Barras, which was just unbelievable. And you know, he doesn't need it, but the Verve coming back to me would be as big as Oasis coming back. It would be as big as it really would be. I think it's just.
You know, I'm always a bit. If they made some new music, if they actually kept it together for once, that'd be astonishing. But if they come back and just, you know, did gigs like some sort of cabaret band, what's the point? You know, what's the point? Like Oasis, what's the point? I don't see it myself. You know,
but it'd be a cash grab, wouldn't it? I mean, it would be the fans. It'd be a cash grab, but I mean, if next year Oasis came back and the Verve came back, I'd fall off my seat. I wouldn't get up for 10 years. It'd be fantastic. But you're right. It'd be an unusual situation. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where that rumour's come from. Perhaps who knows? I genuinely do not know.
Yeah. So Alex Malpass, did you ever design a sleeve, get near enough to the end, and then decide to scrap it and start all again?
No. For reasons I've been through earlier on, that was never going to happen. No.
You're always there. Barry has said, did Brian ever make a song request for the set list before a gig, and what was it?
Me asking would they play a certain song and then
play this for us.
Not at a gig necessarily, but although there's a few instances where songs have been dedicated to me from the stage. Or at Nebworth, the second night at Nebworth, Liam dedicates Live Forever to Me Mum, who'd had a stroke the previous day.
Right, all right, okay, right.
And I've been at gigs where I was at a gig in Dublin on the 94 tour, where he would sing in Shaker Maker, I've been driving in my car with my friend Brian Cannon, it's just amazing. An Oasis gig and he sings that. And during the song as well.
And the thing is, I suppose as well, they're going to go. Half the time they're being recorded or they're being bootlegged by someone, so they're on record, aren't they, with your name being sung? So
there's a few of them. I mean, I probably forgot more than what I can remember. There was when the Verve did. Was it No Come Down? What's the one that's got One Way to Go on it?
I'm not sure.
It was that's the closest I come to a request. It wasn't at a gig, it was for a compilation. I said, you've got to put One Way to Go on it, the B-side of All in the Mind.
Right. See, right, okay, yeah.
I'm like, you've got to, they're in consider. That's an amazing track, that's got to go on it. So that was my idea.
Yeah.
But, there's loads of little things like that. I probably forgot half of them, but it was just, it was an incredible time to be involved with so closely with those bands.
To get a dedication on stage, that's mad.
When I was in Washington DC with Brian Garcia, last year or the year before, watching Liam in Washington, we drove from West Texas to Washington DC to watch the gig. It's a 4,000-mile round trip. It took us 10 days.
Nice.
But it wasn't like it's America, the road trip's the gig, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he dedicated Supersonic to me on the encore.
Right.
This one's for Brian Cameron. Supersonic, come on! I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Back to the old days, that Christ. I went to watch Liam in Aberdeen with Owen, and it's just Brian will feel the same being at that gig with you than I did at that gig with Owen. You sat there thinking, fucking hell, I'm sat next to Owen Morrissey watching Liam sat with Owen. Mental.
Yeah.
No, that's ideal. Natalie Pace, what is it you like about photograph-based designs for sleeves?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's the way they should be done,
Yeah.
Because I came at it as a fan, and when I was growing up, I just thought it's just what I like, innit, and I think a photograph tells a story more than just some. Although one of my favourite album sleeves is Never Mind the Bollocks, which is obviously just text, but I'm kind of just wrapped up in the whole project anyway. But that does look amazing.
Yeah.
But I like sleeves that have got a narrative that tell a story. There's that much going on. Like you 20 years later, you still see things you hadn't noticed before. That to me is an interesting record.
Absolutely, and a lot of yours are like that. You can spot things. I think actually that leads quite nicely onto Ryan Bates' question. Liam recently tweeted that Noel didn't want any of the band on the artwork for Some Might Say. Yeah. And also, Liam was close to being on the cover for Wonderwall, as we know. I think the story was you were actually shooting that Wonderwall cover in the back. Did Noel happen to be driving past in a car?
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's like Darth Vader. It's absolutely true story, that. Uncanny.
He's driving past in the car and jumps out and goes, come on. No.
A bit more forceful than that. But he stopped it. So what's the question?
So were there any recently tweeted that were there any last minute changes where certain sleeves could have looked completely different? I think we've kind of covered that, really, haven't we, in a previous question?
No, they were nailed on before we even got to where we were going.
Yeah. So, Ryan Canner, what was your reaction when Liam said your name while singing Shaker Maker at Earl's Court? We've just covered something pretty similar.
Earl's Court, there's another one. I've forgotten about that one, yeah.
Shaker
Well, I
Maker
was bananas, wasn't I, obviously? It's just like, I don't remember that. I must look back on it. See, there's loads of them. We were just, because he knew that I'd be made up and it's a nice thing to do for your mate, and you know. Yeah. It was just a dream come true, man. You know,
these things pop up now. I mean, in fact, that's a question for you. That's going off piece again. Why? I don't know if you know the answer. Why are none of the gigs, your Nebworths, your Main Roads, why is it not? Why are there not DVDs and releases of these official ones?
I don't know.
It's a weird one. That.
They were all filmed. I'm sure they were all filmed.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Nebworth.
Well, they were filmed because they were on big screens. So there's obviously they were recorded that.
Well, Owen did the work for Radio 1 for Nebworth. You know what I mean? These things were all definitely mixed, recorded, and put out on the radio and all that. So the bootleggers have done them. But why was it official? It's a weird one, that, I suppose.
I don't know. I genuinely don't
know. David H. Why did the classic logo change on the Masterplan to the coat of arms style logo?
Right, because the Masterplan, the whole concept.
People wondering, that's this one up here.
The whole concept of the Masterplan is the young kid on the front of the sleeve represents an 11-year-old Noel Gallagher, right? And he's teaching a class full of old people, i.e. his elders, about music. So there's a theme running through the whole packaging of the album, which is school related. If you look inside, when you pull the vinyl out, it's like a school report. You know?
Yeah.
So that logo is meant to represent the crest on the school blazer.
Right, okay. Right.
You know, when he was at school, you have a school blazer.
Yeah, on your
the breast pocket, you have the badge of the school.
Yeah.
That's the badge of the school.
Right, okay. Fair play. And I think when that's another cover, you look in detail at, and you can see.
On that.
The detail is, I mean, even the papers that the old folk are reading it's like music papers and all sorts, isn't it? Absolutely. Just recently.
The lengths we went to were extraordinary, you know, they really were. It's just making work for ourselves half the time, but you know.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, people finding these little gems years and
years. I am very, very proud of that body of work, you know, I really am. And it was worth all the hard work we put into it. I think we did, even if I do say so myself, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Whatever happened to the tape that you put on Facebook for sale a few years back called Oasis Demos by Noel? Did you ever listen to it? Can you tell us any more details?
I never put it on for sale. I just put a picture of it on. Never for sale.
I feel like Garcia's got that.
No, it's not. It's upstairs in my bedroom.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But I'll go get it.
So this is the cover we're just referring to. Is the new musical paper I was just referring to. Is the 11-year-old Noel teaching a class. So yeah, we've seen quite a lot of good stuff here.
Right, here we are. Shit, no, that's not it. This here. It's upstairs somewhere.
Up there somewhere.
It's it. Brian's not got it. It's in this house.
Right. Well,
just shows how bad my eyes are. I couldn't tell this. But what this is a 1997 straight. That'll be Owen's handwriting. That. Do you know what I mean? Pre-release, which sounds uncannily like the NG's Rethink.
The Rethink version, right? Okay.
Which I think they did. I'm going out on I think it's just that, basically, what was on there.
Okay.
Put it obviously isn't. He obviously did do some work on it. But that sounds
very similar.
More like that than it does the version. So that's
so they shortened it, put some strings in the back, and that was the new. That was
the strings, basically, and the bass. Yeah. But yeah, that's what that is. But that tape, that demo tape, no, I've still got it. It's in the house somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it might be in there. What is it? It's Noel playing an acoustic guitar at 6 o'clock in the morning, Rockfield studio, outside the studio, sat on a wall,
Right.
the Wonder Wall as he called it, and you can hear Owen. Owen's inside the control room, and you can hear him talking to each other because his mic set up outside. It's just not in a few songs.
I don't know if you listened to the full Owen Morris interview that I did.
I haven't, but I will do.
So this is uncanny now, because what's really good is Owen talks at the very end of that interview, and we're now talking at the end of this one, nearly, and that comes up, and Owen talks about an unheard story. I sent Owen out onto a wall because it was a wonder wall, and I sent him out, and we just recorded him because I was talking about, Stephen Morris in Joy Division being set on the roof to the drums and to try and get the good sound. He says, I put Ono on a wall outside, and that was the wonder wall. If the song had been called Wonder Toilet, I'd have sent him on the toilet. So that's quite nice that it's linked in here.
That tape that I've got is that session,
right?
Which I played to Brian Garcia, because I don't know what. I know that there's some crate like you and him, these nutcase fans that just know everything. Yeah. Brian said to me, that tape is not out there. He has not heard that before. No, that is a genuine, that one's not out there. That's what's on. That's what's on that tape. I'll play it to you. Obviously, I can't send you a copy.
Absolutely.
The next time you see it, I'll play you a copy of it.
Well, that's that. I'll come back to you on that. That's. I like the way it's linked in there. The two interviews have linked in really well with that. That's a really good.
That's what it is. It's that session.
Brilliant. That's excited me a bit, that one. Has Liam ever contacted you since he started his solo career to do any sort of work or anything like that?
No, he hasn't. And I think that's a conscious decision to keep it on Oasis as well. And it's a record company thing. I'm sure if Liam put his foot down, he could do it. But no, that hasn't come about. And I'm not. That's fair enough. It's not like, well, why am I not doing it? It's not like that at all.
Well, a bit of a funny story. I think his recent singles have all been just white covers, just white blank covers. But the artwork was actually bang on, for Shockwave and all the other singles. Actually, they're all great artwork. I made myself my own cover of using the artwork, my own little homemade cover, and I put it on my Instagram. 2 days later, Liam's account shares it. My Instagram goes from a couple of thousand to 10,000 followers in a day. I thought, bloody hell, I love that. Cheers, Liam. I love that. Got a funny one. Right, the very last question is from Ross McKenzie. What is your favourite sleeve design? We'll post past that. We've covered that already. What does the keep on All Around the World sleeve relate to?
My favourite sleeve design is actually not just never is Umaguma by Pink Floyd.
All right.
If you look at that, that's dead Microdot. Although I probably only came across that after the event, but it's that picture on the wall, which is the same. It's a picture of what you're looking at, but they're all in different positions. It's genius. Yeah. Umaguma by Pink Floyd is my favourite sleeve ever. The keep on All Around the World is, we obviously shot that on a beach.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. And that was like a warning sign which was down near the beach. I might say keep off or keep out or something. It's sprayed white onto red. And
is Owen on this cover?
No.
That's not this one, is it?
Those four people, it's two people. It's the same two people twice.
You're right, actually. Yeah, you can spot that straight away. Yeah.
Same two people twice. It's on the CD, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the CD. Does that have an inner sleeve? That 12-inch? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Is it on that? Flip it over. Oh, no, it's not on there.
Yeah.
No, not that. You're on to a different... That's it.
There we go. It's on the back.
Yeah. That was off of keep off or keep out or something like that. It was... I really can't remember. High tide, keep off, keep away. It's some kind of warning sign that was something to do with the beach.
Good stuff. So it means effectively nothing. It was just there on the day, and it was an image.
I just thought it looked interesting. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the last question there, Brian. That's the last one. I think we've gone way over what we said we'd go over. So I
That's
pulled
cool.
the tape as they did with Owen, but I've really enjoyed that. So I'll put the dot to say finish and say thank you very, very much. And
I'd just like to say to all, I know it's only a small group, but I'd like to say to you all, thanks for your continued interest and support. It means the absolute world to me.
Yeah.
And love and peace forever.